Thank you, Mr. Chancellor. General, you've been a friend of mine for a long time and a great counsel to me and others in the university. You've never forgotten your roots. I believe you graduated in '57, around the time, '58. And since that year, you've been connected with the college as you have risen up the ladder of a great hero and a great American. And I can't think of anybody that we feel more fortunate than you to name this important school. So thank you for agreeing to lend your name, and thank you on behalf of the City University of New York and all the future students who are going to come and learn about your distinguished career. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Chancellor.
General Powell, Colin, I feel extremely privileged. I feel humbled. You are not only a true American hero and international statesman, but you are the truest of sons of City College. You show that no matter what your background, no matter where you're from, you can do anything in this world. Your integrity and your friendship means so much to me, so much to the students of City College, and I can't think of a better person. You are my hero. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is indeed a great honor. I only wish my parents were still around to see this. But you know, in my career, I've often been asked, how did you do it? How did you make it? You know, you're born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx, and you were able to rise to the top of the military profession and to the top of the diplomatic profession. And what were the secrets? How did it all happen? There were two things that really did it. One, I had parents and a family that kept me in play as a kid growing up in the South Bronx. And I benefited from a public education system that brought me from kindergarten all the way through the City College of New York at no expense to me and no expense to my parents. Because the people of this city, the people of this state recognize that there is no greater responsibility for any government than to educate the next generation of leaders. And so throughout my career, I have always given credit to the public school system and especially to the City College of New York for keeping me in play and giving me a quality education. A quality education I didn't know I was getting at the time. And after I became a senior official in the Army, chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, I would visit countries around the world, and I would get the question often that said, well, what year did you graduate from West Point? And I said, well, I didn't get into West Point. I couldn't have dreamed of applying to West Point. Well, how about some of the other great military schools that we have in the southern part of our country? And still in those days, a black kid couldn't go to those schools. Well, then where did you go? And I said, City College, New York. Where's that? It's in Harlem, about a mile from where I was born. And I got a great education. I got an education that was based on liberal arts. I got a Bachelor of Science degree. And when I went to my first posting at Fort Benning, Georgia, and I had to compete with young lieutenants from West Point, from all of the great military colleges, from Princeton, you name it, I discovered then, you know, I got a pretty good education at CCNY. And I was able to compete, and I was able to do my very, very best. Because the other thing CCNY and the New York City public school system taught me goes to some of the comments that were made a few moments ago, that if you believe in yourself, and if you believe in this country, and if you believe that you can achieve in this country, then go for it. Work hard, do your best, and see what happens. I entered the Army just a few years after segregation officially ended. I was part of the first generation of minority officers, black officers, at the end of segregation. And what they said to me was, we don't want to hear any hard luck stories about you were born in Harlem, raised in the Bronx, immigrant parents, you were poor, all that stuff. Save it for somebody else. The only thing we care about is performance. And I learned in City College of New York that performance is all that counts, and that's all I ever asked for. And so I'm deeply grateful and feel so indebted to this city and to the taxpayers of the city for giving me such an opportunity that I can now give back to CCNY and to the city of New York the remainder of the time that I have here. The center started out being modest. It grew. It started to affect the entire college. It started to affect other colleges, and that's when Lisa came forward with the idea of making it a school. And it's going to be a school just like the center, which is focused on the kids, focused on the students. It's not going to be putting out papers. It's not going to be doing, it's going to be focusing on these young people who are going to be the leaders of the city and the leaders of America in one generation. And we have no greater responsibility than to give these kids the best education we possibly can, just as was done for me so many years ago. When I came back to City College after I stepped down as Secretary of State to see what was going on in this center that had been named after me, I sat in a conference room with the president at that time, Greg Williams, and about 20 students were in the room, and they all told me their story, where they had come from, how they were working hard, what they wanted to be in life. And when they all went around the table and came back to me, I just thought, God, they're just like I was 50 years ago. So now I have to invest in them as others earlier had invested in me. And we have no greater obligation. So I'm deeply thankful. I thank the board for this honor, and I look forward to working with CCNY in the months and years ahead. Thank you so much.